What's up, guys? Bang, bang, bang. Lunch money coming to you every day, noonish, before noon, afternoon, right at noon, or 5 p.m. Depends on if we have our shit together or not. While Wall Street's trying to get rich, the rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. The ever beautiful Miss Polina. Today, she looks like an angel, I guess. No prisoner outfit, no looking like me.
Apple Watch.
Oh, the Apple Watch saga is resolved. Do you want to tell me why your Apple Watch got ruined?
Okay, I had an Apple Watch and I went swimming in it. And by the way, I did everything Apple says to do before you get in a pool and expose it to water, except that was a total lie because I did a few laps and it counted them. And then suddenly it was like, bye, sorry.
And
dead.
It broke. It broke.
It was dead forever.
Well, smart people like me would just never get in the pool with your watch on. Why do you need to count your laps?
Because Apple claims that is a feature and I wanted to try it and I was exercising in a pool.
Trust no one, question everything. We got your new watch. We're ready to rock and roll. What's going on with unemployment today?
Unemployment's sad. Everything's sad today.
Polina, warning. Polina has hot takes today. She has not been in a good mood all day. It thankfully is not because of anything I did. She just has hot takes about the economy. We're going to get to those. What's going on with unemployment?
I'm mad.
What's going on with unemployment?
People are losing their jobs and the government is doing nothing.
4.4 million Americans filed unemployment claims last week. The report hit this morning. That means 26.5 million Americans have filed for unemployment in the last 5 weeks. 26,500,000 people have lost their jobs in the last 5 weeks and filed for unemployment. If you add in...
Right now, I know 5 people without a job.
5? You know 5 of the 26.5 million?
Yes.
Okay, well, there's only 26.495999 or something like that.
5 is still a lot.
5 is a lot. All right, so what that does is if you add in the 5.8 million Americans at the end of February who were unemployed, that means that up to 32 million Americans right now, over 32 million Americans do not have a job. 2 ways to think about that. That is close to 20% unemployment of the labor force, right? 165 million Americans in the labor force, not including people too old or children, et cetera. Or another way to look at it is that is 10%, right around 10% of the U.S. population, every man, woman, and child, 10% of them have no job, regardless of if you're 1 year old, in the workforce, or out of the workforce. It is nuts.
It says this would be the highest level, the unemployment rate of 20.6% since 1934.
Okay, well, so go back to the Great Depression, which is in the 1930s. And the Great Depression, as you guys remember, 3.5% is in 1929 when the Great Depression started. 3.5% was a historic low. We were just at 3.1% in February of this year, which was a historic low. So very similar. It took 2 years to go from 3.5% to over 15% in the Great Depression.
5 weeks.
5 weeks, exactly. So not good. The second thing is, remember that the unemployment rate only shows those people who actually filed, right? And so what's likely to happen is the report's going to come in somewhere between 12 to 13% is going to be the official unemployment rate. That's because not everyone is still getting unemployment who previously filed in prior weeks. It also doesn't include gig workers, freelancers, self-employed, people who are trying to file but can't file, or people who have lost wages, meaning that their actual payment has been reduced, or they've lost hours at work. So the real unemployment rate is closer to 20%. You're upset. Why?
Can I tell you why I'm upset?
Yes.
Okay, we've had 2 months of this. Other than printing money and doing press conferences and doing nothing, the government has done very little to help people. And if it was me, Polina for president, if it was me, I would not sleep until I was working with the public sector, the private sector, et cetera, to get tests out and to figure out what the hell is actually going on and take measures to have a plan to, one, contain the virus, but also make sure that people have food to eat.
Of course. Well, that's why you're starting to see now. Now you're starting to see the light. I've been saying this for weeks now, people are not going to let this happen. People are not going to sit around and have the government mandate shutdowns of businesses. 20 plus million people lose their jobs and have the government go on television and say, Don't worry, we got it under control. Everything's good to go.
No, but what pisses me off is they don't have it under control, and they're not even trying to say they have it under control. Their only plan is stay at home indefinitely. That's not a plan.
Of course not.
And
what happened with Cuomo? Let's talk about Cuomo.
Cuomo says one more time that domestic violence does not equal death, he can come call me.
All right, so hold on.
Give him
so
some
he
facts.
he gave a speech recently, and in it, somebody asked him, yes, there are people dying from this, but what about the drug addiction, the domestic violence?
A reporter asked what he was going to do when we started seeing deaths from the economic hardship, and he said, economic hardship does not equal death. Emotional stress does not equal death. And domestic violence is increasing. It's very bad, but it is not death. And I can point him to a statistic.
Ooh, did you go do research? You read the internet?
Oh,
okay, big
internet.
Time. By the way, did you guys see that I pulled up my little Starbucks? We went outside.
Who cares about your
Don't
Starbucks?
tell anybody we went outside today. All right, go ahead, read.
According to the CDC in 2017, half of all female homicide victims are killed by their intimate partners. So there you go, Cuomo. Next time you want to say that, here are your facts. Can we move on?
No. The long story short is unemployment's really bad. The government hasn't done enough to get people the relief that they need. There's unemployment insurance that you can file for, but on top of that, the payroll protection program, one of the big issues is only 3% of all applicants have been processed, approved, and funded. There's 97% of small businesses in the United States that have filed for this that don't have the capital. We still do not have a refreshment of that money. They're supposed to put $310 billion into new funds for the PPP program. Unfortunately, though, that will not be enough. It's probably only going to cover about 10%. The only solution to solving this problem, and I continue to pound the table on this over and over and over again, we have to open up the economy. We can do it safely, we can do it intelligently, but we have to open the economy. That is the only way to get people back to work and to get people in a safe financial position.
We at least need a plan, because right now people feel powerless and hopeless.
That's why they're protesting.
That's a whole different issue. But the regular person feels so much anxiety, and the only thing that they're being told is you're going to be home indefinitely, and we don't know when you're going to have a job again.
True.
Anyway.
Are you on team open the economy safely?
I'm on team let's have a plan, let's test people, and let's start to reopen the economy safely.
Bang, bang. Leave a comment and let us know what your plan is to open the economy safely. Move on to Magic Leap. Talk about maybe not so intelligent people who made a mistake that was really easy to see coming.
So can you just, in your tech speak, explain what Magic Leap is? Magic
Leap basically is this idea that you're going to take a pair of goggles, you're going to put them on, and magically you're going to get a bunch of 3D rendering,
it's
augmented reality, all this kind of stuff. The technology seems super, super cool, right? They've done everything from like you could literally, rather than look at a traditional x-ray or some sort of medical scan, you could see like the heart palpating. You didn't know I knew that word. Palpating right there in front of you.
Palpating is a word.
I think it is, but maybe not.
Beating?
And no, palpating. I think it's this. You can Google it. I read the internet. But also you can do all kinds of augmented reality, etc. Short story is that they raised $2.6 billion.
Yeah, I think.
What did you just look it up? Did you just look it up?
How do you know it was 2.6 billion?
Because I read the internet. I know these things. They raised $2.6 billion.
Weird memory.
They raised $2.6 billion, and basically they have no product to show for it yet.
So they do have. They eventually released a product, not really for consumers, kind of for enterprise, but for a very long time, they had no product to show the public, and they kept raising billions of dollars in venture capital.
The best part about this story is like 3 weeks ago, they were like, hey, we're going to sell our business for $10 billion, 4x the amount of capital that they were going to, that they raised. And then everyone was like, what? Your company's not worth $10 billion. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, just kidding. We're going to lay off 50% of our staff, 1,000 employees, and they're pivoting.
Yeah, so they're not going to be doing consumer stuff anymore.
Long story short is the market called bullshit on Magic Leap.
I was one of the people.
Tell them what you did when you wrote about Magic Leap.
What did I do?
When you said that you have questions.
Yeah, I had questions.
She wrote a whole write-up about Magic Leap and their fundraising, and she's like, look, when have people successfully raised a ton of money without a product and actually had it work out. There's few examples.
I wrote this in 2017.
So you called it. You called the Magic Leap fall in 2017?
Called it.
All right, what's going on with Bill Gurley? Speaking of one of the best investors of all time.
Bill Gurley, Benchmark Capital. He's been investing for 20 years. And finally, he was one of the earliest investors in Uber. And if you guys remember, he was also the one who pushed for the push out of Travis Kalanick.
All right. I don't think you could say Bill Gurley was the only one. Benchmark, the firm. Yeah. So Bill Gurley is a venture capitalist.
He was very vocal about it.
True. Bill Gurley is an investor at Benchmark Capital. Benchmark, as many joke around and say, literally the name is true. They are the benchmark. They're one of the best investors in Silicon Valley. Bill Gurley's been a big part of that over the last 20 years. He used to sit on the board of Uber. He definitely was involved in the pushing out of Travis Kalanick from Uber as a CEO. But he now is not going to be participating in the next fund that Benchmark raises. There's lots of questions. Does that mean Bill Gurley is retiring tomorrow? Probably not. It just means that he's not signing up for the next 10 or 15 years of investing. He's basically going to ride out what he's already done towards the end of his career here.
Yeah, so basically Benchmark reached out to some limited partners to raise $425 million for its 10th venture fund. So Bill will not be part of that, but it sounds like he's going to continue to be very involved.
One of my favorite parts about Benchmark, two things that are my favorite. Everybody who joins is a partner.
Yeah.
So everyone has an equal stake around the table. So let's say that there was 5 people at Benchmark. When they go to hire a sixth person.
Sorry.
Do you see her interrupting me?
Have you seen their website?
No.
It's like nothing.
When the 6th person joins, they all get an equal split. And so it's really cool how they really respect each other. They really have kind of a team mentality. And the second thing is, in an age where all these firms went out and raised massive funds, they were raising billions of dollars. Benchmark stayed super, super disciplined, and they continued to raise somewhere between $400 and $500 million in most cases, time and time again. They never got attracted to let's go raise billions of dollars. And it's because they believe that's the amount of money per fund that they can invest and drive returns for investors. And they've done that at the highest level year after year after year for decades now.
And they've kind of been like, look at their website. Their website is literally just Benchmark and the address. There's no look at our investments, look at our partners. They're just very like low key, and they do their work and they get great returns. They're
fantastic people. Bill Gurley.
Do you remember when I talked to him?
Is Bill Gurley more like Scottie Pippen or Michael Jordan?
I think he's more like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, like everyone just knows he's the GOAT.
I'm still team Scottie P.
All right, what's going on with the gap year?
Gap year. A bunch of high school students that are graduating this year are choosing to take a gap year instead of going to college because, I mean...
Are they choosing or are they being forced to?
No, it says they're choosing because people are saying, like, for example, this girl said, you always hear people say your friends from college are the ones you have for life. I don't want to miss out on that. So they don't want to go and not have the physical in-person experience.
This kind of feels like if you were in the ATM and I walked up with a gun and put it to your head and said, give me your money. And then I told the court, she chose to give me the money.
Wait, but why do you think that?
Well, where are they going to go to school? Schools are getting canceled and everything.
They're not getting canceled. You can still enroll online.
Yeah, but the whole point of college for these kids is to go and actually be there in person. So you can't go in person. They're basically being forced. If that was the whole value to you, you're being forced not to go because it's an online education now.
So I don't know exactly what this is, but the president and CEO of Command Education New York said, typically only 2 to 3 students want to take a gap year. This year, it's about 75%. He said of the college-bound students and families he works with.
I mean, in Corona time, anything goes. You're just like, throw caution to the wind, whatever, pandemic, baby.
You're one of the people that I would have imagined would want to take a gap year.
I kind of did.
Did you? What would you have done?
Kind of.
What would you have done?
I got pulled out of college to go to the Army.
Oh, that's true. But that's not a gap year. That's like a
it was a gap year. Trust me. I missed 3 semesters and was running around with a gun in my hand. It was like everyone knows you can go study abroad, like semester at sea, or you go to some foreign land and have all this fun, go drinking with your friends, whatever.
You went to Iraq.
Yeah, and I just say, I did a study abroad too. I just studied abroad in Iraq. So would you take a gap year?
The Google Maps thing.
Google Maps? Well, go ahead. Tell them the story. I know you think this is funny.
I was asking him, like, tell me about when you, about like where you would drive and the base. We had just watched some war movie, and
I love a good war movie.
And so I asked what the name of the town where you were based was, and we went on Google Maps, and I was like, why isn't it letting me zoom in and do the person,
The man on the street, the street view.
And I was like, this isn't working, and it was all blurry. And he was like, yeah, I don't.
Of course, Google's not going to let you see satellite photos of the U.S. military bases.
Well, they let you kind of. They just didn't let you do street view. I'm guessing Google cars aren't driving around in there.
They're not. Yeah. No. All right. What's going on with Zoom fatigue?
So apparently people are getting fatigued by Zoom.
People are soft. People are soft as shit.
Listen, you do Zoom like 84 times a day.
And in my fatigue, no. That's because I'm not soft.
Well, the other day told somebody they wanted to do a Zoom call, and I was like, can this be turned into a phone call instead? I don't feel like I like to pace when I'm on the phone, just like you. I don't like sitting here and like staring at a camera.
You don't have to turn the video on if they do a Zoom.
Yeah, but they typically, if they want to do a Zoom, they want to see your face. And you'll be like, do we have to? And they're like, well, I did.
Just tell them you're in a coffee shop with bad Wi-Fi and you need to shut the video off so that the call's quality.
They know I'm lying. There are no coffee shops.
That's the point.
Oh.
It's just a nice way of saying I'm not turning on my video.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a Zoom call where you are like professional up top but casual down low?
I do these like that. Well, not today. Not today.
I actually have pants on today. Big surprise. No sweatpants shorts today. I actually have pants on because we went outside. We went and got a little bit of Starbucks. Got to do mobile ordering. They won't let you walk in the store. We put my little mask on. I was cranking down the street.
He looks like one of those
safe people, like a healthy person trying to take care of the world. It's like, it's kind of like the mask is there to protect other people from you.
I want everybody to be protected and safe. I just don't want to listen to politicians and their stupid big egos power jockeying to get elected and not care about me.
I feel like the longer that we've been doing Lunch Money, the more that Polina's starting to see the light. She's starting to realize how much bullshit is out there in the world.
I'm just sad and upset that it seems like politicians care more about power than they do about their people.
Of course. Welcome to the world.
Of course. Like, if you're elected to office, you should, I don't know.
They're all the same. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. They're all the same. All they are doing is they're doing what they think they have to do. What did I tell you in the beginning? $1,200 is a bribe. That's not to help the people. That was a bribe to keep social unrest at bay. Their payroll protection program, they literally gave money out of the PPP to 75 publicly traded companies.
I know.
Do you think those public companies need the money?
No.
Maybe, but it's not for them. It's not for them. They gave money. They earmarked specific funds in the stimulus package for universities. Universities have had two things happen. One, actually their expenses in many cases have gone down. And two is most of their revenue has actually stayed constant.
I don't know. I read a report today that universities are losing a bunch of money.
How?
I don't remember. I read a lot this morning.
No, their expenses are going down because they fired a bunch of employees.
I'll look it up. I'll get back to you tomorrow.
All right, you do that. But the whole point is you're now starting to see in a time of crisis, people get exposed. The virus has exposed the shams in the world. I've been telling you guys this for weeks now. The virus has exposed the shams in the world.
There's just a bunch of incompetent people at every level of the system. And if you voted for Polina, this wouldn't happen.
There's zero chance you're running for anything.
Why?
Why would you want that life?
I don't want that life, but I care about people.
Are you announcing like a mayoral run right now?
Your country won't let me because I wasn't born here. But can I be mayor if I'm an immigrant?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please send help.
Do you have anything else to say to the people?
Yeah, bang, bang. Well, while she's trying to get rich, the rest of us are trying to get our lunch money right.
And?
I want to make sure. What?
What else do you want to say to the people?
Hello, cats and kittens.
No!
What?
No.
What?
They need to be kind.
Oh, well, yes, she's supposed to say that. She looks like an angel today. Looks beautiful as always, even smarter than she lets on. And I appreciate you guys all watching this. Big ask today. Go leave a comment. I've been told if you like the video or like actually hit the little like button or go share it and make sure that you're subscribed. The views will keep going up. Supposedly, if we get more views, it means that more people are watching. Who knows if YouTube's telling the truth or not? But I appreciate everyone watching.
I like personally, I just like the people who are already watching. I don't care about people who don't watch.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.